Hey there, this is going to be a follow along foam rolling video walking you through all the different muscle groups that you can foam roll in real time so you can follow along with me while I do it myself. Alright, we're going to start first with our glutes. So you're going to sit up onto the foam roller, cross one ankle over the knee. I like to hold on to that ankle, your other hand behind you. So you're kind of sitting at this angle. You're going to roll slowly back and forth across the glute muscles. You don't want to go too far up where you start to feel your hip bone and get into your low back. And you don't want to go too far down where you start to feel your sit bones. So you're going to stay right on that meaty part of the muscle. We're doing about 10 to 15 rolls per side per muscle group. So back and forth a few times here, again staying at this angle, so I'm not fully square like this. Angling toward the side, I'm trying to roll, and then we'll switch. Carefully move around, switch your ankles. Again, doing 10 to 15 rolls on this side. If one side is a little tighter than the other, you can spend a little more time on that side. It's entirely up to you. And then from the glutes, we're going to move on to our hamstrings. Now, if you have a tougher foam roller or if your hamstrings are a little extra tight, you can do both legs together, like so. I prefer to stack one on top of the other so I can focus more on one leg at a time. We're doing the top half of our muscle first, so from the bottom of our butt to about the middle of the back of our thigh and back up. And you can shift around slightly so you can get all sides, all pieces of the back of your hamstring. And then you'll move down to the lower half, middle of the hamstring to just above the knee. You do not want to go over the back of the knee. Now you might already be feeling like, oh my gosh, this is a lot on my arms, on my shoulders, on my hands. That's normal, especially if you're doing this after a workout. Go ahead and switch if you haven't already. Again, we're doing the top half first of the hamstring from the bottom of the butt to the middle of the back of our thigh. I'm trying to get all the way across the surface area, so a slight rock back and forth. And then we're moving down into the bottom half. Again, we're not going over the back of the knee. You're stopping right before that point. And same thing, you can kind of go side to side on that. All right, from there we're moving to our our lower back. Let's make sure this is still recording. Now our low back, we're going to angle here as well, just like we did with our glutes. Trying to hit the spot between the top of our hips, the bottom of our rib cage. So you can put your elbow down, extend your legs out. Those will give you the leverage so you can push back and forth. It's just a small roll here. Again, 10 to 15. So we're not on the spine. We're to the muscles on the side of the spine in our low back. Sometimes this feels good, sometimes it might be a little too much. You want to be able to breathe through the foam rolling no matter what. So if you can't breathe, then find a way to adjust or skip that muscle group for the day. Switching now to the other side. So turning my body so I'm angling, going from the top of the hip to the bottom of my rib cage, not trying to go over any joints. And then from your low back, we're moving to my personal favorite, which is the upper back. So I have my hair clipped up. If you have long hair, if you have a ponytail, I recommend you hold it up against your head. Regardless, you're putting your fingertips behind your ears. You're going to bring your elbows together so you get the rounding in through your upper back so you can get in between the shoulder blades, and then you're rolling back and forth. I think this is the best one. And you're not going to go all the way up to your neck. You're stopping before that. Coming down just to about the bottom of your shoulder blades. It might kind of feel like you're slipping off, so just pause, adjust, and continue on. Then we'll switch around. we're going to get our hip flexor and our quad. So we'll do our hip flexor and the top half of our quad together. Again, if you have a tougher foam roller or you're really sore in the quads, you can do both legs together. Otherwise, one at a time. I think the easiest way to do this is just to shift the foam roller so you can focus fully on that one side. It is kind of a sneaky way to get a plank in, but you know, we gotta do what we gotta do, right? Again, 10 to 15. Really trying to get into the hip flexor, but we're not going over the hip bone. And then you can shift your foam roller around, move yourself up, move yourself back. Get that bottom half of your quad. Not going over the knee though. Probably the closer that you get towards your knee, the more it's going to hurt. Make sure you breathe through it, and again, don't go over the knee bone. I'm going to switch and go this way for this side. Starting again, up with the hip flexor, the top of the quad. One or both legs together. If you're doing both sides together, you're still doing about 10 to 15 rolls. So up and down being one roll. And then we can move down bottom half. Make sure you're still breathing. Rest when you have to. You can always pause this video until you're ready to continue. Why do I feel like I'm missing something? I am. And then after your quads, you're going to do your adductors or your inner thighs. This one, I think, is the most painful. So we're going to take it slow. You want to start by angling your foam roller. The side you're going to roll, you're going to bend that knee, and then you're rolling out and back in. Trying to get up towards into your core a bit more, in towards your trunk, and then out towards the knee. It is not pleasant, but it is important. And the more often you do this, the better it'll be each time, and the less painful. And then we can switch our final side, our final thing. Leg bent, foam roller on a slight angle, rolling out and back in. Breathe through it. We're suffering together. Just a few more. Make any adjustments you need to. We'll go one more time. We're ready. And there you have it. Foam rolling 101. So I highly recommend doing this at the beginning of your workout. This will be the first thing you do before you do any stretching, any movement prep, any strength. You can also do it at the end. You can do it on your off days. You can foam roll pretty much as often as you want. There's not any negative consequence to that we know of. So enjoy.